Howdy, welcome back to Forever Spinning. I don't know about you, but March is one of my favorite times of the year. We're finally exiting the dreary winter in favor of at least slightly warmer weather, which is great, don't get me wrong, but March is even more important if you're a sports fan. Spring training is in full swing, the NBA and NHL playoff picture is finally clearing up, but sitting atop all of these wonderful things are the NCAA March Madness tournaments. There is basketball galore, with drama unfolding around every corner. There are the highest highs and lowest lows imaginable. They are gauntlets at every turn, and they are such a damn good time. But the one time-honored March Madness tradition that is unlike any other is the bracket. Bracketology might as well be its own college course at this point, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it already is. Point is, filling out brackets is fun, even if you aren't fully invested in all 64 teams. So I got to thinking, what if I made a bracket on my very own, with the help of some other people, of course, to see which album would win? And also, what if I didn't think all that hard and came up with the rather lame name, Forever Spinning presents March Madness Music Mania. Well, that is what we have going on here, folks. Yeah, basically all I'm going to do is go through this bracket right here that I made to see who will come out on top. Before we dive in, I want to explain how these albums were picked and how this video is going to work. First, I went through my top 100 most listened to albums according to Last FM and chose 32 of those to fill out half the bracket. Then I turned to my friends Spencer and Tim from Bort and asked them for 16 albums that they think would be good and put them in their own region. Finally, I turned to the app music board, I made a post soliciting 16 albums and put those in their own region as well. You'll notice that none of these artists have been repeated either, as I want to have a really diverse playing field. For the Forever Spinning side, the 16 albums out of the 32 that were played the most are located on the left-hand column, while the right-hand column is filled up with the remaining 16. On the other side, I used a random pair generator to figure out what those matchups were going to be in those two regions. It should be obvious, but this is going to be single elimination. For each matchup, I'll give my thoughts on the record that is being knocked out, and I'll reserve my thoughts for the winning record until it's inevitably knocked out too. I have a feeling that I'm underestimating how long this video is going to go, so I'm going to try my best to keep everything brief. There's also a non-zero chance that this video is being broken up into multiple parts. Okay, I think I covered everything, and if I did miss something, here's a graphic with everything I missed. Without further ado, may the March Madness commence. First up, we're heading to the Forever Spinning North region. First up here we have Is Survived by Touche Amore up against Blood Visions by Jay Retard. Yeah, I was really hoping Jay wouldn't get knocked out this quick, but it is what it is. I mean, I love Is Survived By. It's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite album of all time. I say it all the time. But if you don't know Blood Visions and Jay's records, really fantastic punk music. Lots of Britpop influences. It's very catchy and fun to sing along with. He scorches through so many classic songs on this record. It's fantastic. Definitely recommend. Alright, God Save the Animals by Alex G up against Alien Lanes by Guided by Voices. Yeah, sorry, we're going with longevity here. I love God Save the Animals. I mean, obviously it was my favorite album of 2022. If you've been a long-time viewer, you know that. But yeah, I don't know. I turned 25 and all of a sudden I'm in my Guided by Voices era. I don't think I need to go too far onto God Save the Animals. I think you know this one already. Third matchup in and I'm already regretting this entire thing. Yeah, shit. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go with Clips here. Sorry, Shed, you are the best Title Fight album, and I adore you. You're one of my favorite albums of all time. But also, Hell Hath No Fury is like my favorite hip-hop album of all time, so yeah, you were fighting such a fucking uphill battle here. That's such a shame. I really hope Title Fight gets its revenge at some point. Not obviously this time, but maybe in a future bracket. Between the Richness by Fiddlehead, the Soft Bulletin by the Flaming Lips. Yeah, we're gonna go with the Soft Bulletin. I love Fiddlehead. There's no denying that. I love Between the Richness, but it's also so highly ranked, like in my top 100 on my Last FM because the songs are so short and they were just kind of like in so many different playlists throughout the years. I guess it is stat padded like that. You could say it's a little overrated in terms of my overall list and where it is and sits on that top 100 list. But whatever, we don't need to get into that. We need to move on. And another fucking tough one, Jesus Christ. Drain California Cursed, Alive 2007 by Daft Punk. Yeah, sorry, wow, that hurts. Drain, I apologize. I do not do that lightly. That's, wow, oof. California Cursed, just some of the best hardcore coming out of California over the past couple of years. Such a fantastically fun record. I've talked about it a million times, and I'm not going to go too deep into it. Another nice and tough one. Cool, that's great. Alice in Chains, Dirt, Soul Glow Diaspora Problems. Yeah, but it's Alice in Chains season, baby. Sorry. That was a layup, unfortunately. Love Me, My Soul Glow. I mean, come on, I've been raving about about them for years now. Diaspora Problems being their crowning jewel at this point, really revolutionizing the hardcore genre and what you can really do with that style of music. But yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, unfortunately. Alright, Wowie Zowie by Pavement. Can I say dag nasty? Oh man. I actually thought I had something ready to go there, and now I'm realizing this is a lot tougher than previously anticipated. Yeah, well, you know what? We'll let the underdog have its day. Wowie Zowie is my favorite Pavement record. I mean, I absolutely love it. I love how weird it is. There's so many different cool songs on there. I would even consider it like a desert island record, even though I don't love it all that much. I think that there's so much that you can get from it, and it was just such a different experience every time. But Dag Nasty shows up and blocks Pavement and knocks the ball out of bounds. I'm now just realizing that I can do all of these basketball puns. This is going to be so good for me and so bad for you. Alright, the last matchup in this region, it's Impenetrable Cerebral Fortress by Gulch and Internet Breath by Hey I Love You. Two modern classics, if I do say so myself. And yeah, that's a head scratcher. Why did I do this to myself? This is so much more difficult than, you know what, we'll go with Gulch. I don't love this decision, but that's okay, that's cool, that's fine. No, we're living with that, we're riding with that now, that's good, we like that. But Hey I Love You, Internet Breath, Fifth Wave Emo, fantastically fun chiptune songs. They absolutely rip. I probably should have made that my album of the year that year, even though it was an EP. And yeah, Hey I Love You is apparently putting out a new record this year, and I am very, very, very excited for it. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this first region here. This is how Forever Spinning North is starting to really rack up. Also, sorry that I'm doing all of this stuff in Photoshop. That I just couldn't think of a better way to do it. I didn't really plan what I was going to do next here, but maybe we'll just jump ship and go to the other side and go to Music Board. So yeah, with Music Board, I just put a post out there and asked users to suggest any albums that they would like to see featured in this bracket. Got a lot of really, really good responses. I really liked what everybody had to say. Lots of different genres, lots of different eras, a lot of popular stuff and some not so popular stuff. If you were out there and you suggested an album, thank you, you killed it. This is looking pretty good. So yeah, let's move right on in here, and we don't have to debate this one all that long. I made my decision before actually saying what these albums are. Obviously, this is Frank Ocean's Blonde, and then on the other side here, the loser, unfortunately, it's Curve with Come Clean. It's a cool, shoegazy, alt-rock 90s sound. The drum work is pretty interesting. It definitely leans much more into, trip-hop and that kind of sound. Not necessarily for me. It was okay. There were a couple of songs that I did really enjoy, but overall, just not crazy about it. I am glad that I gave it a listen, though. Like I said, there are definitely one or two songs that I add to a playlist, so not all that much of a loss. Next up, Hell Mode by Jeff Rosenstock, and then The Monitor by Titus Andronicus. Not too crazy about both of these records, but I will probably let Hell Mode move on. It's a really good album, don't get me wrong. I had it in my top 50 albums of 2023 list. And with The Monitor, it's just not really my kind of album. I think the concept is cool and all that, but I haven't listened to it in years, and I'm not really all that compelled to go back. Maybe I'm being a little too flippant about that one, but as of right now, I like my decision. Oh man, we got some heavy hitters right here. We have the Texas Jerusalem Crossroads by Lift to Experience and Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan. God, yeah, we're gonna go Bob Dylan on this one, and I think it gets the edge simply because of the final song on the Texas Jerusalem Crossroads. Listen, it's one thing to have a hidden track at the end of a record. I think that's cool, but it's 20 fucking minutes of silence until you even get to that point. Still, outstanding record. I really do love that album, and it's been pretty recent that I was turned on to it, so thank you for that. Then we got Tool over here, Lateralis, and What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. Actually, I don't think I know if that's how you pronounce that Tool album. I could be wrong. Obviously, that means I am not really a Tool guy, so we're gonna go with Marvin Gaye. There's nothing really wrong with the Tool album. I like it a lot. I see why people love it. I mean, goddamn, those riffs are pretty fucking heavy, and the guitars sound outstanding. But yeah, at the end of the day, if I had to pick of these two albums to put on right now, it's gonna be What's Going On 10 out of 10 times. Alright, the Tripping Daisies, Jesus Hits Like the Atom Bomb, and then For You, Tatsuro Yamashita. Yeah, we're going For You here. Probably just because of my city pop bias, especially in comparison to the Trippy Daisies, which are definitely psychedelic, and I'm just not the biggest psychedelic rock fan. I can get down with it, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of psych that I do like, and I actually do quite enjoy this Jesus Hits Like the Atom Bomb album. It was pretty cool listening to this and hearing the basic groundwork for what would end up being like the mid-aughts to early 2010s style of psychedelic rock that really took over the indie radio. But unfortunately, that is not enough to beat this city pop classic. Alright, well, this is another one of those fuck you matchups. Tip of a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar, London Calling, The Clash. Yeah, we're gonna have to go with Kendrick here. Both are generational albums. I mean, God, this is what a terrible first round matchup. But unfortunately, pound for pound, especially considering these are both like hour-long albums, I just have to go Tip of a Butterfly. I love The Clash. This is not very easy for me right now, but that's fine. I do think that Kendrick deserves it because Tip of a Butterfly, goddamn, what an album. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's move on here. We have Jay Dilla with Donuts, and then we have this live Fishman's record. We're gonna go Dilla. Yeah, that Fishman's record, wow, what absolutely fucking outstanding. I mean, for a live performance, you would almost never know that it was live. I truly recommend, if you've never heard it before, go in blind. You almost don't need to know what they sound like. Commit yourself to like the 2 hours or whatever the runtime is to enjoy it in full. It's absolutely worth the experience. Okay, and then the last matchup in this region is going to be Public Strain by Women and Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. I'm gonna make quick work of this one. Yeah, sorry, this Woman record, it's awesome. It's a very, very good album. You can really get so many different emotions that are evoked from the sounds and really just overall atmosphere of it. But unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to stand up to Songs in the Key of Life. This is randomly generated, like I said earlier, but it does kind of feel lopsided. This is a real like 1 versus 16 seed scenario. And I do like Public Strain. I'm not trying to say that, but you know, unfortunate matchup. All right, so this is where we stand in the music board region as of now. And then we're gonna just hop down below and go to the Bort Media section. Like I said, thank you again to my buddies Tim and Spence for helping me out here. First up, it's In Color by Jamie XX versus An Insatiable High by Masayoshi Takanaka. And yeah, sorry, it's Jamie XX season. An Insatiable High isn't my favorite of his records. I do prefer Brazilian Skies. To its credit, it does open up with Sexy Dance, which is such an incredibly fun fucking song. Pound for pound going up against In Color, that's unfortunate. Alright, and now we have A Secret Life by Brian Eno and Fred Again up against Bewitched by Laufey. I think that's how you pronounce the name. I didn't look it up beforehand. I apologize. But yeah, we'll go with A Secret Life. That Bewitched record, it is really, really beautiful. It's gorgeous. It sounds fantastic. She writes some fantastic love songs, even if the instrumentals themselves aren't all that adventurous. I wasn't aware of this record until it was recommended, but I'm glad that I listened to it because I definitely think I'll be coming back to her material. Alright, then we got Sonic Youth with Goo up against Cake with Fashion Nugget. We're gonna go with Goo here, although I do love Fashion Nugget. It's like a guilty pleasure record because it's not like all that great. I think we can all be honest with ourselves here, but it's camp and cheeky in a way that like I always find myself enjoying. I can't say that's the same for like their entire discography, but this record in particular always has me coming back. A song like Italian Leather Sofa is just so ridiculous, but it fits it. But still, I'm gonna pick Goo every time. Then it's gonna be Mother Earth's Plantasia by Mark Garson up against Visions by Grimes. Plantasia's gonna take this one. I'm just not a Grimes person, really, just not my music. Visions is cool and revolutionary. I can hear all of the influences that would continue on throughout the 2010s and 2020s, but Plantasia, I can put that on whenever I want and I'll enjoy it every single time. Ooh, Air Moon Safari up against Mint Jams by Cassiopeia. Yeah, we're gonna go with Air here. Mint Jams is awesome though. I'm actually so glad that we had 2 really good Japanese live records in these 2 different suggested solicited album regions. Actually, while setting this up, I was re-listening to Mint Jams because I felt like it had been a little too long and I wanted to refresh my memory. It's so fucking good. It's crazy. It's too good. But then again, Moon Safari, I don't know, man. I listen to it a lot. I think that head-to-head, yeah, I still have to go with it. Maybe in another bracket, Mint Jams would have gone on a Cinderella run and made it to, like, the Final Four or something like that, but unfortunately, it ends pretty quickly this year. Then it's Descendants Milo Goes to College up against Gossamer by Passion Pit. It's Descendants, yeah, pretty easily. Although, re-listening to Gossamer for this video, I kind of forgot how, like, crazy it goes. I'm not a fan of all the songs on there, but, like, man, the Sonic like ideas and like the construction of the different songs pretty fucking wicked. I mean, this is the album with Take a Walk on it. You just wouldn't really expect these off the wall production ideas being incorporated into this, you know, kind of pop electronic record. If you haven't listened to Gossamer in a couple of years, I recommend going back to it. It was a fun re-listen. Oh boy. Wow. Okay. Working Man's Dead, Grateful Dead, Pornography, The Cure. Fuck. It's unfortunate for Working Man's Dead, but I just got my copy of Disintegration in today, so yeah, I'm more in my Cure era, I guess. Working Man's Dead, great album. Can't knock it. Great stuff. I'm not a Deadhead, really. I do prefer their studio albums, which is crazy, I know. I'm not really the jam band type per se. So an album like Working Man's Dead is actually right up my alley in terms of their studio releases, but yeah, sorry, Pornography, too good. And then the last matchup in this region, we got ourselves Heaven or Las Vegas by Cocteau Twins up against The Beautiful Game by Wolfpack. This is a no-brainer. Easy. Sorry, I like Wolfpack. Nothing really against them, but, you know, not all that crazy about them. I'm not trying to be an asshole. They do have some pretty good hits on, you know, most of their records. There's always at least like one or two songs you can pull out of there and really enjoy. I don't know, the novelty wears off a little too quickly for me. Even with The Beautiful Game probably being my favorite of their albums, I would have to go back and listen to all of them to really make a better claim with that, but, you know. So yeah, there it is. There is the Bort Media region doing pretty good. Let's move across the way here and get started with Forever Spinning South. First matchup over here, Silver Jews American Water versus How It Feels to Be Something On by Sunny Day Real Estate. It's Silver Jews, yep, pretty easy. How It Feels to Be Something On, it is my favorite Sunny Day Real Estate record. There are so many good songs on there. I would say it's one of their most eclectic, kind of genre-defying, or at least overreaching and bleeding into different types of sounds album. It's a classic, I adore it. I hate to see it go this early, but American Water, that's like Mount Rushmore. I foresee American Water sticking around in this bracket for quite some time. Next up though, it is Dance Tonight, Revolution Tomorrow by Orchid up against Lucky Styles by They Are Gutting a Body of Water. This is really tough, especially considering I just saw Tagabo live for the first time in my life last week, but then again, I'm seeing Orchid in like 2 months. Yeah, you know, we're going with Orchid. Sorry. Tagabo is awesome. I think they are one of the most important bands in the music scene, just in general right now. Between the music that they make, their DIY mentality, their independence as themselves, really overtaking the underground scene. Yeah, it sucks to see them get knocked out this early. I really do love that record, and same goes for Destiny XL. Then we got Glow On by Turnstile up against Drive Like J, who's Yank Crime. You know what? Yeah, we'll go Drive Like Jehu. Let's do that. Glow On, it changed hardcore, man. I don't know what else you can say at this point. We're a couple of years removed from it. I don't think there's anybody doubting its significance and, you know, weight that it holds within hardcore and alternative music in general. It's a landmark LP that I love. It was my favorite of that year. But Yank Crime, it's been one of my favorite records for, God, I don't even know how long at this point. So that sucks, but whatever. Turnstile has won enough in their day, and yeah, I don't think Drive Like Jehu has ever won as much as Turnstile. So this is okay. All right, Life Under the Gun by Military Gun up against Gorilla Biscuit's self-titled. Fuck the fuck, man. This is not easy. You know what? I think old school rules right now. I think that's what's going on here. We're going with Gorilla Biscuits. Love Life Under the Gun. Fantastic. Military Gun, one of the best and one of my favorite bands to exist right now. But this does, unfortunately, come at a bad time for Military Gun because I have been going through my old school hardcore phase again. I have been playing a ton of Gorilla Biscuits, so yeah, it's gonna get the nod this time. Then we got two titans of the 90s here. Wow, Siamese Dream, Smashing Pumpkins, Liquid Swords, Jizza. It's gonna be Siamese Dream, but I'm not, like, thrilled about that choice. Not because I don't like Siamese Dream, but I hate to see Liquid Swords go. Liquid Swords, probably, in my opinion, the best solo Wu-Tang record. If you really want to consider them solo records, whatever. You know what I'm getting at if you know Wu-Tang. It's just storytelling that is completely unmatched by so many other hip-hop records out there. And plus, it features just some of the coldest beats to ever be produced. But unfortunately, it meets its maker when it's put up against the gigantic guitar tones that are in Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream. This is kind of a fun matchup. Mac Miller Faces up against Have Heart's Songs to Scream at the Sun. I wonder if these two album covers have ever like sat next to each other like this before. We're gonna go Have Heart here simply, and this is really unfortunate for Faces. It's just the brevity of Songs to Scream at the Sun is much more appealing to me. I love Faces. It really has become my favorite Mac Miller project throughout the years at least. It's a blast to listen to, even as long as it is, but I don't know. Yeah, you put these two up next to each other, I'm probably gonna reach for a Have Heart the majority of the time. Then we got Ovlov Buds up against Something to Write Home About by the Get Up Kids. Shit. This is another hard one. I swear to God, I've been staring at these two album covers, not making up my mind for the past, like, 3 minutes probably. You know what? Fuck it, Buds. Once again, unfortunately for Something to Write Home About, brevity wins the day. I love Something to Write Home About. It has only grown on me throughout the years, especially this past year. I found myself listening to this record in particular so much. I know that it's a popular record, but I do think in terms of mainstream 90s alternative music, it is criminally underrated. I think it's their best effort by and large, and I think that it really should have been recognized more for being as outstanding as it is. But Buds, man, I don't know. It's March. Everything's melting. All these flowers, they're starting to bud a little bit. It's Ovlov time. It's that time of the year, folks. Sorry, no more time to be sad about some breakup or something dumb. Sorry, Get Up Kids. So yeah, Buds it is. Cool. Let's move on. Last one in this region. It is The Great Dismal by Nothing up against The Wailer by Home Is Where. It is The Wailer. Pretty handedly. I love Nothing. I just saw Nothing play last weekend at the Shoegaze Fest. That's what I was mentioning with the Tagaboat earlier. Yeah, no. Sorry. The Wailer, just too good. Too good. It hits all the notes that I need. It is a record that is catered to me. And while The Great Dismal is as well, I mean, what an overwhelming rush of sounds and tones and just so much sonic texture. It's like in the Scott Pilgrim movie when they hit the notes and you can see the actual like physical form of it pushing people back and shit like that. That is The Great Dismal, at least in my opinion. I don't even know if it's like my favorite Nothing album. That's kind of what I love about that band is I just don't know what my favorite of theirs even is. Pretty much everything they put out is great, so you can't really go wrong. But in terms of being in a bracket like this, it's kind of detrimental because I don't really have all that much of an opinion behind it to really push it forward. And for that reason, yeah, Home Is Where is going to take it. All right, quick zoom out here. Let's look at what we have. Looking pretty good so far. And I guess if this is the end of part 1, I'll see you next time. And if not, then let's keep going.
That's what passes for entertainment these days? Wuzzle wuzzle?
Ladies and gentlemen, the clown show has been put on hiatus for retooling.